Are you trying to figure out which Universal hotel is the perfect one for your vacation? Yeah, we've been there. You're Googling everything, you have 15 different tabs open at one time, and Google gives you a million different answers. Plus, there's blog posts and content creators saying, here's my top 5 hype list. And before you know it, you're looking up, is Sapphire Falls basically just the same thing as Royal Pacific, and is it worth the price?
The decision can be overwhelming. And if you're only planning one Universal Orlando trip this year, that decision matters. We've stayed at every Signature Collection, so we're gonna help you, give you a bit of a shortcut so that you don't spend hours and hours researching which Signature Collection hotel is right for you.
We're gonna break down the theming, the location, the perks of these hotels, and if you get Express Pass or not, which is possibly the most important piece. So stick around, we have so much to talk about for Signature Collection hotels at Universal.
When Universal says Signature Collection or Signature Tier, they are meaning bougie, bougie, bougie. These are the top of the line hotels that Universal has to offer, offering great location, awesome amenities, and some top tier perks that you're not gonna get at the prime or value level resorts.
Here's the lineup for the Signature Collection hotels in no particular order. Hard Rock, Portofino Bay, Sapphire Falls, Royal Pacific, and the new Helios Grand, which is directly connected to Epic Universe.
It's the new kid on the block.
It really is, and
It's still pretty nice.
we'll talk about that more in a minute.
All of these Signature Collection hotels offer early park admission, great amenities, wonderful pools. However, there are some pretty stark differences between these hotels, and the differences are way bigger than they look on paper.
To kick off the comparison between our different Signature hotels, we are going to start with theming. You're not just picking a place to sleep at night, you are picking a whole vibe when it comes to your Signature Collection hotel. So let's dive in and see what your options are and what fits the vibe best for you.
At Hard Rock, you're gonna party like a rock star. It's like you took a backstage pass and turned it into a hotel. You've got rock memorabilia on the walls, guitars in the lobby, and music playing throughout the resort. It's edgy, fun, and loud. Perfect for someone who wants energy, but still enjoys that 5-minute walk to Universal Studios.
Proximity is nice.
Especially
And
during
nice.
HHN. We'll get more into when we would stay at each hotel a little later on in the video, but there are some specific seasons that you want to stay at one hotel over a different one.
Royal Pacific, this one feels like a high-end Polynesian retreat. Think Bali meets business class. You're surrounded by lush greenery, torchlit pathways, and serene waterfalls. It's the kind of place where you instantly take a deep breath the second you step through the lobby doors and go, how relaxing.
Or just enjoy that lobby smell, because that lobby smell at Royal Pacific is incredible.
I feel like smell doesn't have a great connotation to it, but the essence
Yeah, the
of
essence
the lobby.
are great.
Yes.
Portofino Bay is like someone plucked a postcard from the Italian Riviera and dropped it smack dab in the middle of Universal Orlando. You're strolling through cobblestone piazzas, pastel buildings, and waterfront cafes. It's refined, romantic, and definitely the most grown up of the Signature Collection hotels.
I do love the first time we stopped at Portofino Bay.
Got completely lost.
One, we got lost, but two, we were sending pictures of Portofino Bay to your parents who have arguably
Oh, yeah.
visited
They've been-
Portofino Bay. The real Portofino
Real.
Bay.
Yeah. And they're like, whoa, that looks familiar.
Yeah, yeah.
Just to put in perspective how realistic and how much research and detail that Universal puts into the hotels.
For Sapphire Falls, you can think modern tropical. Caribbean tones, bright blues, cascading waterfalls, and casual resort energy. This feels like you've checked into a vacation club in Barbados. Laid back, but super stylish.
Sapphire Falls is the newcomer to the Signature Collection hotels. Universal Orlando just recently redid their tier system for their hotels and added Sapphire Falls to the Signature Collection hotel.
It got a bump up while the other ones stayed at the same level.
Cabana Bay got a bump down.
Yeah, Cabana Bay got a bump down, but we're not going into that one today. We're focusing on signatures. But we'll talk a little bit more in a minute about what you do and don't get from Sapphire Falls.
And finally, Helios Grand, the new kid on the block at the brand spanking new Epic Universe. Inspired by the sun god Helios, the hotel is filled with gold accents, celestial murals, and sleek modern design. It feels as if Greek mythology met a luxury space station. High-end, dramatic, and completely immersive.
Now we have stayed at Helios Grand already, and This description is
impressive.
spot
Oh, yeah.
on. With it being the new kid on the block as far as opening of hotels, you can tell they kick things up a
Oh,
notch. They have some extremely well done details in this hotel that really take that signature and go, wow, they're implementing new hotels and they're implementing even better theming. These themes are strong for hotels.
One of a kind. Each is very unique.
They really are. And if you're a vibes alone kind of person, send it. Pick your poison and go with it. But if you're, a little bit more into the details and want to know how you're spending your money, stay tuned. We're going to jump into location next.
All of these hotels are technically on Universal Orlando property, which means you get the perks of staying on site at Universal Orlando. But you're spending most of your time probably in the parks if you're coming to Universal Orlando, which begs the question, how far are the parks from each of these hotels?
We do like our midday siestas, so having a hotel that is pretty close to the parks, we find to be very helpful when we're having a full day and night at Universal.
Hard Rock is the closest to Universal Studios. In fact,
It's literally 5 minutes.
it's quicker to walk to Universal Studios than it is to take the water taxi from Hard Rock.
And yet we still see people do that.
All the time.
It's almost like you take the water taxi, then you take a 5-minute walk on the water taxi to go to the parks.
Which is, it's something to consider as you're planning out your Universal Orlando vacation. Do you have Halloween Horror Nights when you're going to be leaving the parks at 2:30 in the morning? Like, you want to get back to that hotel as quickly as you can. You don't want to be leaving at 2:30 in the morning and still have a 20-minute walk back to your hotel.
That's so true. We have definitely used Hard Rock as a go-to hotel for Halloween Horror Nights and also Orlando Informer meetups. It's fantastic to be able to enjoy the parks late into the night and then be able to be back in bed right after you leave the parks. It's just right there. You're not walking far at all.
Hard Rock and some of the other, call them OG Signature Collection hotels, are going to be a bit of a hike to Epic Universe. You're going to have to take the shuttle, and it'll take you 10-15-minute shuttle ride depending on traffic and lights and things like that, which is, we'll get into a sec with Helios Grand, and that's a huge perk of Helios Grand.
Maybe you enjoy going directly to Islands of Adventure. Then Royal Pacific's going to be the closest option for you. It's about maybe a 7-minute walk on the walking path to get to Islands of Adventure and to City Walk through security, all that jazz. But they also have a water taxi, which we are a big fan of, and it doesn't take too long.
Yeah, so if you have early park admission over at Islands of Adventure and you want to get on Hagrid's motorbike adventure, Royal Pacific is probably the quickest one to get you over to Islands via the Garden Walkway path.
Yeah.
Not to mention, they also still do have the shuttle bus. However, if you're staying at Royal Pacific or Hard Rock, I'm not really quite sure why you're going to take the shuttle.
I would avoid the shuttle bus unless you're going over to Epic Universe.
Next is Portofino Bay, and of the OG Signature Collection hotels, it is the furthest out on the legacy Universal Orlando campus, so Studios and Islands of Adventure. It's about a 15-minute walk or so.
I was going to say 14.
Yeah. And taking that water taxi is definitely a consideration if you're staying at Portofino Bay.
We are a big fan when we've stayed at Portofino Bay to walk to the parks in the morning and really enjoy a nice, cool walk.
Yeah, leisurely stroll.
Yeah, leisurely stroll. It's cool in the morning. The sun hasn't quite come up and we're going to enjoy EPA. And then on the way back, that's when you jump on the water taxi.
One thing we forgot to mention about Portofino Bay when we were talking about theming and vibes was that Portofino Bay just recently got a facelift. Whole new, looks great, like very vibrant and bright after some restoration.
No more scaffolding.
Yeah, no more scaffolding.
It looks really good.
Looks really good.
Additionally, with Portofino Bay and Sapphire Falls coming up next, there will be and is a shuttle bus to be able to take you over to Epic Universe. So again, if you're looking to enjoy Studios and Islands, these are right there and very close to the parks. If you're looking to go enjoy Epic, you're gonna take about a 15-minute shuttle bus from any one of these. So just prepare accordingly if that's where you're looking to stay.
Next is Sapphire Falls, the new kid on the block. Sapphire Falls is a little further out than even Royal Pacific. However, it is on that Islands of Adventure side of the campus.
I would say, I think it's about the same as Portofino Bay.
It's about as, I would agree with that. About a 15-minute walk or so. You'll pass right by Royal Pacific. It does offer a water taxi. However, the water taxi at Sapphire Falls does get quite busy because people pop over from Cabana Bay and Aventura and utilize the water taxi in order to get to the parks. Pro tip, if the Sapphire Falls water taxi is busy, go over to Royal Pacifics if you really want to take the water taxi.
For those of you who are staying at Royal Pacific, we're really sorry for sharing that information, and we hope you enjoy your stay still. And finally, we have Helios Grand, which is literally attached to Epic Universe. So if you're looking to enjoy time in Epic, you get your own private entrance when you stay at Helios and you have a ticket to enjoy the Epic Park. Now, we've done this and it is fantastic. Not only do you get to go right into Epic Universe, but you're in an air-conditioned hotel beforehand. So it's pretty nice to be able to go and enjoy EPA or just go enjoy the parks because you're in a comfortable hotel and then you make your way in and get to go start your day.
Now you're very secluded at Helios Grand on that Epic Universe campus, so you'll have to take a shuttle bus over to Universal City Walk in order to enjoy the restaurants and everything that City Walk has to offer.
So depending on how much time you plan on spending in Epic versus the legacy parks, or even just going over to City Walk to grab dinner, you're gonna wanna plan accordingly because that shuttle trip is gonna take about 15 minutes just to get you one way. It could add up, just depending on what your plan looks like. But maybe you don't care if you're located next to Epic or if you're over in the legacy parks. You're just gonna do it all for a couple days and really have a blast. We're gonna talk about amenities and Express Pass because this might be the make or break for your trip.
Now, most of the perks that you get at the Signature Collection hotels are pretty universal across the Signature Collection hotels. You'll have a pool.
The pools are a little different.
The pools are very different. Not even a little different, very different. We have a whole video comparing all the pools except for Helios because Helios came out after we did that video. We'll have to redo it again. But we do have an entire video dedicated to every single pool at Universal Orlando and comparing which that we like the best.
Check that out after this.
Every Signature Collection hotel will offer transportation to and from the parks as well as early park admission. But let's get into what everybody's kind of already thinking.
I can hear it in the comments now.
Express Pass. Only 3 of the Signature Collection hotels offer Express Pass, and that Express Pass is only good at Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios. I know I said only. That is still a huge perk of staying at Hard Rock, Royal Pacific, or Portofino Bay.
If you want Express Pass, there's 3 hotels to choose from at this time, folks, that are included in your stay. You can go and stay at Sapphire Falls or Helios Grand, and you can pay for an additional Express Pass. But that's gonna rack and stack as you go for day in and day out.
It'll add up.
For each person.
Oh yeah.
When you're at Hard Rock, when you're at Royal Pacific and Portofino Bay, the Express Pass is included for everyone that's in that room.
The day you check in and the day you check out. So you pay for one night at Hard Rock, Royal Pacific, or Portofino Bay. You get 2 days worth of Express Passes. That's awesome. That's a great deal.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to beat.
Especially during those busy times.
Yeah. Like,
if you're going during Mardi Gras, spring break, or something like that, like expect that Express Passes are going to be upwards of $300, $400 per person per day. And so if you're...
And that doesn't even consider the Epic Express Pass they're currently selling.
Right, and so if you're going during those busy times of the year, even if the hotel is $600-700, like it might be worth looking at to get that Express Pass.
But maybe you don't want Express Pass. There are some crazies out there who don't. I know we haven't always used it. And
save you a bit of money.
Then that leaves you with your option of Sapphire Falls or Helios Grand. Now, personally, Sapphire Falls is a fantastic hotel, and not having to pay the additional Express Pass price is kind of nice, especially for your signature level.
You get great grounds, a great pool, great amenities without the increased price of including Express Pass.
So then that leaves Helios Grand with no Express Pass.
No Express Pass, you're far away from the OG parks, but you are dedicated entrance to Epic Universe.
Yeah, go Epic.
That's pretty cool.
Like, it really bodes a matter of like, what do you want to do for your time and where are you going to be playing at Universal when you're staying at these hotels? If we're just going to Epic, Helios pretty nice to have right there. But if I'm looking to really ride every single ride, is Helios going to be the place for me to be?
It is stuff to consider for sure.
Right.
One thing that we haven't even really mentioned is that all these Signature Collection hotels have some really great sit-down restaurants.
Ooh, that's really true.
at the hotel.
That's true. I think that's one of the things that we appreciate about the Signature Collection hotels is reserving a spot to be able to go and have a sit-down dinner or lunch when we're staying there. We have personally some favorites at these hotels.
Amatista's delicious. Bisay at Portofino Bay.
Yeah, the Palm. We haven't had anything at the Palm yet, but we plan on having a date night there coming up soon. That's how nice it is that we're actually booking a time to go and do that together.
And we're not staying there.
And we're not even staying there.
But
and then
brunch.
Over at
Brunch.
Hard Rock.
Yeah, Hard Rock Brunch.
Now, if you need bottomless mimosas, Hard Rock Brunch is the place to be. It's only on Sundays, folks.
And then you got Jake's over at Royal Pacific.
Jake's is great.
They're all the Signature Collection hotels have great restaurants.
I would say there has yet to be a Signature Collection hotel with a restaurant that we didn't enjoy the food. Now, arguably,
there's some we like
Bar
better
Helios,
than others. Really expensive.
Really expensive. Still really good food.
Really good.
If you want to have more details about Helios Grand, we did a hotel review of that, and you can check out and you can see what food we enjoyed at Bar Helios for the price. But nonetheless, every single Signature Collection hotel,
great.
I don't think there's been a restaurant we haven't enjoyed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That's kind of funny to think about. Now, I can rave all day about the price of Bar Helios, but I'm sure what you guys actually care about is the price of these hotels, which...
Take my credit card.
Take Ben's credit card.
Oh, don't take my credit card. Take her credit card.
These hotel prices really... They range all over the place, folks, and it really is going to be dependent on time of year, demand, how big the hotel is, how small the hotel is. And so we have a vast array of pricing that we're going to share with you. But remember, you can book your hotel, and if you start seeing that there is a lower rate before your trip, you can call in to Universal Hotels and get that price adjusted. They're fantastic about doing that. Just ask and be polite.
Currently, at the time of filming, so it's always subject to change, the most expensive Signature Collection hotel is Helios Grand. No surprise.
Shocker.
Helios Grand is currently booking for anywhere between $500 to about $2,000, depending on room type and time of year, which is expensive.
I will say it's worth it to have a park view room.
It is great. Yes.
It is a really nice view.
Upgrade from a standard room and get that park view room for sure. Even it's expensive though. And that's really just due to the nature that Epic Universe is very, very popular.
It's the new hotness.
Helios Grand doesn't have a ton of rooms. I think it's like 500 rooms. And so there is a very high demand and a very popular park. The next most expensive Signature Collection hotels are really a split between Portofino Bay and Hard Rock.
Between Hard Rock and Portofino Bay, at the time of filming this, just again, so we're clear, you're gonna look at anywhere between $450 to roughly $700 a night at either of these hotels. Hard Rock is a smaller hotel. Portofino Bay is a bit bigger, but also when it comes to being a bit bigger, the rooms at Portofino Bay are also a little bit bigger. So you're really paying for what you get.
We have seen that the prices of hotels at Universal Orlando have creeped up a bit this year. And that's, again, because Epic Universe is opening, there's more popular options at the parks, and people are planning Universal Orlando vacations. So you're gonna see those hotel prices creep up a little bit.
The biggest pro tip I can give you when it comes to planning these vacations is plan it in advance, because we have seen spectacular rates on some of these hotels when you're planning months in advance. Possibly even a year in advance. We talk to people who plan a whole year out prepping for their vacation, and they're able to lock in some pretty darn low rates for those hotels just due to prioritizing ahead of time.
Next, you have Royal Pacific, which is going to be the cheapest of the OG Signature Collection hotels. That still includes Express Pass.
I was going to say, but remember, Hard Rock, Royal Pacific, and Portofino Bay, you're getting Express Pass included in these rates.
Royal Pacific is going to be anywhere from $350 to $650, $700, again, depending on time of year, demand, and all the other demand-based pricing algorithm technology stuff that Universal incorporates into their hotel pricing.
Math go math.
Math go math. Computers go computer.
Right. And finally, falling at the cheapest of the Signature Collection hotels, you have Sapphire Falls, which is going to cost you or run you about $250 to $400 a night, depending on demand, time of year, and different seasonal events that are going on.
Now, hearing that price, you go, why wouldn't I book Sapphire Falls? But do remember, Sapphire Falls does not offer Express Pass.
No, but it's got great food.
Great food, great grounds,
like
great pool.
The hotel smells amazing
Hell,
too.
the lobby's amazing. I
Yeah.
love Sapphire Falls lobby. Not to mention, Sapphire Falls had our favorite pool.
It does have our favorite pool.
Now, hearing price and considering value, we've got a question of like, where would you, based off the price of the hotel,
Yeah.
where would you book? Tell us in
Like-
the comments where your inclination based off price would be.
When you start hearing these
Yeah.
numbers, I guarantee there's some people out there going, heck no, I'm not
Yeah.
staying there. I get this, I don't get that,
Yeah.
and I have to pay what? Like, tell us in the comments, which hotel are you most intrigued by and want to stay at,
Mm-hmm.
or which are you staying away from? Because I guarantee you, there are some hotels
Oh.
that are like that for folks.
So, I mean, it offers a, where would you want to stay?
Oh, it's such a tough question when it comes to Signature Collection hotels.
They're all
And
really nice.
They're all, we've enjoyed
Pull my
all of
leg.
these.
I'll stay at a Signature.
Universal, if you'd like us to come review any more of these hotels, you let us know. We'll come
Yeah.
and stay there
Pull
for you.
my leg, yeah.
The Signature Collection hotels and the choice of which hotel
Yep.
fits best for us really will depend, for me, on what time of year is it,
Yep.
what event at Universal am I going to, or
true.
what park do I plan on enjoying the most. If I'm gonna go and do a day at Epic Universe and I want to stay from the time that park opens
Mm-hmm.
to the end of the night and possibly being able to enjoy like a fireworks show,
Yep.
I want a Helios Grand Room. But additionally, if I'm gonna be spending multiple days at Universal or I'm doing Halloween Horror Nights,
Yep.
I've got other options that
Sure.
allow me to be able to get to Islands and Studios much more easily and still have a great time.
Especially considering if you're booking a Universal Orlando vacation where you did like the 3, 4, 5 day ticket, but only
Yeah.
1 day at Epic. You know, I'm honest, I'm hard pressed to spend that much money at Helios Grand when I could hop over to Hard Rock, Royal Pacific, or
Yeah.
Portofino Bay and get Express Pass included when majority of my vacation is still going to be over at Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios.
What hotel is your pick?
Portofino Bay will always have a special place in our hearts, I
It's
think.
the first one we ever
It's
stayed
the
at.
first hotel that we have ever stayed at, the first Universal Orlando
Yeah.
hotel that we ever stayed at. Hard Rock will always be my choice when it comes to HHN or if I'm spending a lot of time at Universal Studios, which we've gravitated more towards Universal Studios of late. The one thing I will say about Helios Grand is I think it's a great hotel hopper option.
is.
And so if you're spending most of your time at the OG parks, pick one of the OG hotels, book Helios Grand for one night when you're spending your day over at Epic Universe, enjoy the perks that Helios Grand offers, and then pop back over to the legacy hotels and save yourself some dollars.
Now, I will also point out, we haven't said much about Royal Pacific within this video,
Yeah.
and it's not that we don't enjoy Royal
I
Pacific.
love Royal Pacific.
It
Yeah.
is a fantastic hotel, and in fact, there's a number of our Patreon members
Mm-hmm.
and subscribers that
Love the club level.
that is their go-to,
Yeah, yeah.
whether it's a club level stay or just being able to be at one of the Signature Collection hotels that is arguably the cheapest,
Cheapest, yeah.
but you still get express. So like, don't sleep on Royal
Oh.
Pacific either, because it's great proximity to the parks. You get express, you get a good rate on it.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of people out there, they're like us, they go, ooh, Hard Rock and
Yeah.
Portofino Bay, but they forget about Royal Pacific. And so there's a lot of great options, and it really is a matter of what do you want to get out of your Universal vacation so you and your family and friends can have the best time possible. And in fact, if you are just still unsure, we are more than happy
yeah.
to do a call with you
Yep.
and help you out. If you want to reach out to us, put it in the comments. Or another option would be you can always join our Patreon account, where we have some special time that we set up with our Patreon followers to be able to help them plan their vacations.
We hope this has helped you sort through all the information regarding the Signature Collection hotels at Universal Orlando. If you got anything out of this video, please subscribe to the channel. It really does help us out. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.
Where are we booking next?
I want to go back to Sapphire.
Ooh!